Assalamualaikum, and my name is Sheikh Muhammad Syarif bin Syahrin, and I'm from Shah Alam, Selangor.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Iqmal Hakim bin Safri, and I'm from Katablet.
My name is Muhammad Sharul Nizam bin Abdul Rahman. I'm from Tawau, Sabah.
My name is Azaril Samamadin, and I'm from Tawau, Sabah.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Wan Zaim Hakimi bin Mazlan, and I'm from Bukit Matajam, Pulau Pinang.
One student one sport program 1N1S was introduced in early 2011 by the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education of Malaysia at that time, which is Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. Satu murid, satu sukan. Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said that the 1M1S program was introduced to ensure progress in sport was guaranteed in line with progress in education. The main purpose of 1M1S is to produce students who are active, creative, competitive, and ensure that students can create a positive circle among the students. 1M1S also is a program which has introduced to ensure the involvement of every student in all schools in sport. It also aims to entice students to engage in at least one sport for one student at their school. I would like to share 5 policy problems about one student one sport programs. Number 1 is some of students that does not care about the sports course. This is because they do not believe that sports course also play an important role in helping them further their studies at public university. So, the school should also play a role in informing all students that sports course are an important matter and should not be taken lightly. Number 2 is some of students that enter all sport and cause other students no sport to join. This is one of the problems faced by students who are interested in sport, but the sport they are interested is full because there are other students who are into more than one sport. Therefore, the school should establish a system to identify students who enter more than one sport can be controlled. Number 3 is the biased attitude of some coach or teachers. The partiality shown by coach or teachers towards certain students make other students feel uncomfortable and unwilling to participate in the sport. So the 1M1S program was introduced to screen coach or teachers who have a biased attitude because the coach or teachers who handle a sport will be changed every year. Number 4 is the intervention of outsiders who have their own interest. As we know, there are many schools that get sponsorship from alumni association of the school and the members of the association. They will use the power they have to give instruction for their friend's child or their child to be included in the sport even if their child is not proficient in the sport. Therefore, the school under the 1M1S program must be brave to oppose the abuse of power by setting a strong stance to fight those who have their own interests. Number 5 is to ensure balance in education and sport. There are a group of students who only care about achievement in sport and do not care about education. The 1N1S program introduced is to control instability among students managing sport and education affairs. Under the 1M1S program, they will be given a detailed explanation that the field of education also play an important role if they want to succeed in sport.
The main objective for this policy is to build a human capital through comprehensive participation from among students in sport activities throughout the year and to evaluate a sporting culture among students in order to become members of society. The One Student One Sport strategy is focused on the fundamental concept of people physical growth. By involving in sport activities, students will be able to instill their interest and to be active in sport activities at school. This strategy aims to build human capital by encouraging students to participate in sport activities during the year and cultivating a sport culture among school children to help them become more productive. In the group of students, there are some who lack confidence and do not dare to show themselves and therefore they are unable to show their latent talents in sport. Next, I want to explain about the goals of the policy. The first one is to enhance self-esteem and moral values. The way to make that happen, the Malaysian Ministry of Education has made it mandatory for every student to choose the sport they want and there are no exception for any student. The second one is fostering unity among the races. Sport activities will be able to provide an opportunity for those involved to create a society that is more polite, responsible, and has high integrity. Students will know the meaning of unity, respect between different races, and develop a sense of love for the country and patriotism by being involved in sport. The third one is to develop sport culture among students, cultivating sporting culture so that they will become a member of society with an active, balanced, and healthy lifestyle. forming good values and self-discipline, and creating a track record towards sporting excellence. The purpose of this policy is to move towards a balanced development of body and mind of our young ones. At the same time, it hopes to instill health and vitality into the sport culture in school. The last one is to create a platform towards sporting excellence. Students who are active and have potential in sport can develop talent through sport for excellence after being identified through talent detection and talent identification and development programs. Actors in the creation of the policy can be defined as the mastermind in creation of certain policy. So in Malaysia, basically in 2011, a one student one sport policy was introduced by the Minister of Education of Malaysia, which is Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. The reason why this policy takes place is because the Ministry of Education is aware of the lack of involvement of students in a sport while at school, and many talents hidden in a handful of students cannot be identified. Besides this policy, which can cultivate a sports culture among students to become members of society who practice a healthy and active lifestyle and do not neglect sport in life because they are too busy with daily affairs. With the intention of reviving sport activities in school so that these mentioned things can be improved, then the One Student One Sport policy was created. Therefore, with the cooperation of the Ministry of Education, who is the trigger for this policy, and the parties responsible for monitoring and ensuring the smooth running of One Student One Sport, there will definitely be many advantages and can strengthen students' interest in sport.
One student, one sport is cultivate sport in the community and should be started at the school level through strategy. Firstly, sport for all and sport for excellence. Sport for all activities are important in develop the fitness, personality and well-being for all students. Under the Young Talent Excellence Program, School High Performance Sport, the performance of the talent and future students should be further optimized for sport for excellence. Firstly, the policy implement handbook was created to assist the policymaker. The guidebook provides guidance for how to involving and committed in sport with support teacher and the parent association. Several strategies for implementing the One Student One Sport policy are also offered in the handbook, depending on the facilities and the infrastructure available in the school. It is recommended that each school follow the solution offered. The implementation of the school sport program under One Student One Sport policy will take place throughout the year. The policy also proposes other sport activity that may be done at any time of year. For instance, conventional sport programs such as cross country and track and field. Moreover, the program organized by the school by the holding class-to-class competition. Currently, the Ministry of Education website MOE offers the variety of training models for both primary and secondary school. These modules serve as instruction for advisor, teacher and trainer in a sport club, as well as visual assistance for students during their training. The management guideline for school track and field athlete championship is also available on the Ministry of Education website. This is beneficial because it will assist instructor, particularly new teacher, in administering school athlete competition.
Assalamualaikum and greetings to my fellow classmates and lecturer. Today I will be presenting about the sixth part of the One Student One Sport policy, which is the evaluation on the effectiveness of the policy through the SWOT analysis. My first point is the strength. From the implementation of the One Student One Sport policy, we had identified several strengths that makes the policy effective towards students. The first one is the One Student One Sport policy can encourage students to interact with another race. This can be seen through the implementation of policy by participating in specific sports. Sports is for all and we can create a better harmony from participating in sports, and that is why the government implemented this policy. The second strength is by implementing this policy, This will prevent students from doing any things that are not beneficial to them, such as squeezing and hanging out at entertainment centers. With participating in sports programs that been given and planned by the government, it can create a healthy culture among students and hence will keep their bodies healthy and fit. With healthy bodies, the brains will get smarter and can process a lot of thinking because of healthy lifestyle and hence achieve a good result in examination. This also means that this policy not only gives good benefits towards racial relationship but also shape a better quality and a disciplined Malaysian student. The second point is the weakness. However, there are several weaknesses that have been identified towards this policy. The first is that some Malaysians believe that the active involvement of students, especially in sports, will have a negative impact on their academic performance. This is because some people think that students who are active in sports do not have enough time to review lessons. Other than that, Malaysians' mindset always think that when too involved in sports, it will give negative implications towards academic achievement, such as cannot manage time well and too busy training for sports. The second weakness is most parents and Malaysians did not understand the concept of the one student, one sport policy. This weakness is almost the same as before this, but this time it involves about student attendance. Most parents are not supportive because this program usually done after school and it will drag time and school will end late. Other than that, they think that this program is not important and encourage their children to not come to school or taking an emergency leave by taking their children from their school early by giving such excuses. Plus, schools also did not know how to manage this program by giving non-experienced students to conduct the training or teachers that did not have enough knowledge about the sports, hence give the students freedom to do what they want. Next is the policy opportunity. The one student, one sport policy can encourage the participation of every student in sports or games activities. This is because every student can get involved in a game or sports that interest them. There are no students excluded from engaging in the program except for a serious health problem. This is also not only giving opportunity for students to participate for this program, but also students with the special needs also can get involved with this program. They can play whatever sports they interest and try any types of sports that new to them. In conjunction, this will give the students a new knowledge and giving exposure about the new sports they try. The second opportunity that this policy can enable teachers to develop the talents of students in sports. From the sports they join, their talents can be sharpened and teachers that are responsible for the sports can give guidance to their students and can give them opportunity to compete in a higher level. Hence, this will give them exposure to open competitions that brings them to represent their school and can raise the national sports quality by contribute their talents in the international level by representing Malaysia. The fourth and final point of the SWOT analysis of this policy is threat. In terms of finding success of implementing this policy, there are several threats. The first one is lack of facilities and infrastructures in schools. Most of schools in Malaysia did not have a proper sports pitches and even sports equipment, especially schools in rural areas. This will make this program cannot be successfully implemented because there are still schools that did not have a proper facility. The second threat is the students' own mindset toward this program. Many students think that these co-curricular activities are not important and waste a lot of time. This is because how the school handles these programs and times that clashes with students' extra class and some of them need to attend religion class in the afternoon. For example, there are activities and co-curricular days only conducted by a group of students who are inherently less experienced without monitoring from the teachers involved. Plus, lack of programs and repeating the same activities will also change the students' mindset towards this policy.
So, after hearing to the evaluation of this policy, our group had discussed and also agreed for some recommendation that can help this policy to be a success. Firstly is the improvement of sport facilities and playing fields we must understand that sport equipment cannot last long, so it must be replaced for a certain time or a certain period. It must be a continuous action where the school must take action to replace it, and also the government or the ministry that is in charge for this policy must give them budget so that the school can beautify the playing fields and also to replace those broken or sport equipment. The second recommendation is sending representative to each school. It talks about the representative sent by the government or the ministry to help and to monitor the implementation of this policy. It will certainly help to accomplish the policy's objective in schools. It will also become an advantage for the school where the representative can report to the government or the ministry problem faced by the school that caused the school to have problem in cooperating with the policy. Next is the changes in physical education. Our group agreed that the period of this physical education class should be extended so that the student can fully commit themselves in the class without worrying to get ready for the next class. And it is important for the teacher in charge should be a major in physical education where he or she can help a proper physical training for the students where the students can develop their body health. It is also important for the student to know the importance of health, especially in doing sports and also in their studies. It is also important for the teacher to analyze the student's health development so that it can become approved, and also will help the student to understand more about the importance of their body health, which also will affect or give benefits to their studies. As for the conclusion, we must understand that this policy is not only for those students who are good in sports, but also for those students who are not so good in sports and those students who are disabled. And it is our concern that thus our young student has the right mindset and attitude towards sports and its knowledge and other experience that the student have in school, encourage them to continue their interest in sports and train it at school and even after they left the school. It is important for the students to experience it themselves and make it a part in their life career in the future. We know that if this objective of this policy accomplish, young generation in our country will have a balanced development of their body and mind, which brings benefit towards our country's social development.